Okay, folks, so finally we get a decent day today to get back on this Raptor, see if we can't get some progress done on trying to get this frame out of there and a new frame in there. So today we're going to focus on trying to get the tank out and get everything disconnected that needs to be disconnected on it. Maybe take the the coilovers out of the front, and we'll get that done, get the tank out, disconnect the drive shaft, and we'll go ahead and get everything that's connected to this engine disconnected so that we can take it off. We've already gone ahead and if you'll see here, we drilled out these core support items there. And you know, I'm gonna try this. Since I'm holding the phone, I might as well use it sideways. Core support, where I screwed that out to get it out of the bottom. So that's done. So that won't be in the way. And you know, we took that out. So now I've got everything cleaned off the front of the engine here. The only thing I need to do next is I need to get down in there. I'm not sure if you can see that down in there, but there's a bolt that disconnects the power steering hose, which is right here. This hose here, we got to disconnect it, and then we've got to disconnect the brake lines up here. We've got to disconnect the wiring that goes in here. We just unclip those really quick, so that's not a big deal. We've got to take off the sway bar. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take that all completely out because it's gonna help me get to the motor mount bolts. And then once we get that done, I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt the cab mounts. I'm gonna unbolt those and have this thing ready to go. And then we'll pull the hood off and get that A-frame on there. So guys, it's a beautiful day today, so I'm hoping to get a lot done. It's supposed to get windy tomorrow and then again cold on Sunday, so I got to get as much done today as I possibly can while the weather lasts. So it's going to be a long day for me today, so I'll try and keep some of the things videoed as I go along. I did get an offer from individual that would come with a boom truck that is typically used in the electric industry for power lines, such as those across the street, where over there you can see those power line poles. They use those to remove equipment off of them. And so he did offer, if I wanted to, he could come and with a sling be able to put it through the windows and lift the cab off and set it on my trailer if I wanted to. But the only thing is, then when we go to put it back and get it all lined up and everything, I think might be difficult. So I've already started down this path. I want to see if it can be done this way. If I run into any serious issues doing it that way, I may call on him to come and bail us out. But for now, we'll just keep hitting it this way, and we'll see how far we can get or if it's viable. I've been trying to find a place, some place to put the lifting eyes or to put some bolts or chains on this engine to hold it up. The only one that I have found on the front of the engine is this little deal right here. It's a really small bolt. I don't know if I want to trust that. There's these bolts down here on the bottom. Since I'm going to be lifting up, I don't know if I can maybe use those two down here on the bottom and put some nuts, but I don't know how far that chain will be able to get on there. The other thing I was thinking, since I can't find any of that, I may just try and get a strap all the way underneath the oil pan and around the bottom of the engine. But you know, with that frame smashed up in there, it's kind of hard to get stuff in there. But I may have to get a strap all the way from this side of the engine, all the way around the bottom and around to the other side to hold this engine up. That's the drawback of doing it this way. If we pulled the cab off, then the whole thing would be out. It would be a lot easier to lift that engine out of there. Maybe that's why they didn't put any bolts, because they didn't want you to try pulling the engine out without dropping the frame or pulling the cab off. I think that's what they call for changing the engine out. So anyway, since we're trying this a different way, we'll just see how that works. So let's get with it. I'm sorry, I don't have a tripod, I don't have a camera. This is my cell phone, so I'll have to put it down, do some work, and then maybe I'll show you some more of what I've done and how I've done it. Okay, so we're back, and I wanted to show you the the tank, and we got the tank pulled off. Obviously I just folded the hoses back here, but we had to take off the two straps there that hold the tank up. It's just 2 bolts on either side. Had to disconnect the 2 fuel lines right there. So you can just disconnect those. Those are pretty easy. Just there's a little clip on the end. You undo the clip and then you slide like in the red one, just slide the little red piece up and out, and then slide the hose off. And on the other one, the same thing. It's got that little white clip. Just slide it up out of the way, and then just slip the hose off. And so all you have to do is that, and then there's 2 bolts. They're the 2 bolts right there. Just go ahead and pull those 2 bolts off of the strap. If your tank has gas in it, I would try and find a way to drain the gas out, but this one didn't have a lot of gas on it. So I still went ahead and I used my floor jack to stick under there with a long board. You can see that there. And then just put it underneath there so you can let the tank down easy. These little clips here were a little more challenging because you can't get to them while the tank while the cab is on, because those 2 little connections there for the wires are here. You can see those 2 little clips here. Those are underneath the cab, and you can't get to them until you lower the tank down. So if you're going to take that off, then this one here is pretty easy. This one here, all you have to do is press this little clip and it pulls out. And then this one here is a little more challenging because you can't get to it. So, but anyways, you gotta take some pliers or something and slide that little red thing out of its slot. Then it was kind of stuck, so I stuck a little screwdriver there. You can see where I boogered that up a little bit, but then you got to pry that off of there. Once you get that off, then it just drops down, and so you can get it lowered down easy onto the ground. And so now we've got our tank out, and so we'll continue on. I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the exhaust off. Since I'm going to have to use all of the brackets and everything on this exhaust, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take off the these brackets that hold like right here. Sorry about that. Kind of hard to see that on camera, but it's just a bolt right here. Okay, there it is. That's better. Okay, so this bolt here that holds the bracket to the exhaust, there's one there, there's another bracket right there, and I'm just gonna take those brackets off, and they'll come with the exhaust and everything. There's another one right in there. As you can see, it just bolts to the frame right there. So we'll take those off, and we'll disconnect the exhaust right where it connects to the, let me see if I can get under here and show you. Yeah, right there. So if you can see, yeah, right there, there's 2 bolts. I've had them soaking a little bit. And so we'll just take those 2 bolts off, we'll get the exhaust off. And then there's some shielding there, as you can see behind the bolts, some shielding that I'll have to unbolt from the frame. That's gonna stay with the cab. So any shielding, any ground wire, there's a ground wire on the side here, don't forget that one, because when you go to lower the frame, that'll be stuck on there. So there's a ground wire right there. That needs to be disconnected. And then also this fuel box over here, I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt that one from the frame. And then also on the other side, I think I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the parking brake cable, and so that we can be able to pull the differential and everything off. So I guess that's it for now. Let's get back to work and then we'll catch up. So we're back. Just wanted to show you the progress. When we talked last, I was pulling down the tank, and I got that tank down and out of there. I also took out the exhaust system. I didn't take it all the way out. I just took out to that point where I showed before. So you can see from here, probably a little easier. Let's see, there you go. Just from there. I also disconnected the fuel box over there from, let's see if I can get a little better on the, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that fuel box, I disconnected it from the frame and I bungeed it over to get it out of the way. I loosened the shielding and anything else that was tied or above the exhaust that was tied to the frame. I took out the motor mounts for the transmission mounts. I pulled the bolts loose. I haven't set anything underneath it yet. So I disconnected this brake emergency brake cable, and you'll have to excuse the wind. It's a little windy now, but one thing I wanted to share with you all is this thing here is a real pain in the butt. Let me zoom out so you can see it. Okay, right here, this is where the two cables come together, the brake cable, emergency brake cable. And you gotta see here that it has these little dimples right on the back side, is to keep those from coming out. Well, unfortunately, it didn't want to come out, so I really struggled with that for quite some time. I finally pinged that. I loosened everything up, so I pulled the cable out as far as I could. I put a channel lock or a vice grip right here on the end once I pulled the cable out to give me some slack. Then I pulled it loose from the frame right here. See, there's a slot for it. I pulled it loose from there and I pulled it out, and that gave me the opportunity to lay it against the frame here, and then took a little punch and I hammered it against the frame to get that little nub down far enough where I could get that other cable out of there. So that kind of took me a little while to do that. So just so you know, the other thing I did was I took out all the cab bolts. As you can see, they're all off now, all the way up front. I took those off, and then here, don't forget, you have to disconnect the cables right here for the emergency brake off of the frame, because yeah, they're going to stay with the axle and the leaf springs. So, well, that's going to do it for this episode. So please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You know, if you like it, leave some comments. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.